Hi guys, my name's Dave Mulgrew, otherwise known as Big Mon Mulgrew Online. I just want to show you guys some microphone tips. Now this will apply to most microphones. It's because I keep seeing discussions about the Blue Yeti and other high-end USB microphones that may or may not improve your sound quality. I want to show you a few things that can change your sound quality quite dramatically in with any microphone. And one of the reasons a lot of USB microphones sound so much better is because they apply some of this stuff by default. Now, none of this is set up. I'm going to show this doing it in OBS, but some of this is Windows based. So hopefully you can apply this in most cases. So first off, we're going to go to our speaker icon in the corner. You're going to right click on it and go back to playback and recording devices. Let's look at playback first. Now it'll open you up this window. If you had clicked recording, it would just open on the recordings tab, but we're going to start on the playback tab. So we look at the speakers we normally run through, which are these ones. You usually get Realtek high definition audio. You're probably not going to have these ones because they're for HD, and you're not going to have this one because it's to do with out of scope of this video. We're going to go properties and just going to look at on the right hand side the advanced tab, and you're going to look at the default format, and you're going to turn this as high as possible. Quite often it defaults to CD quality, which if you just go and put some decent quality music playing and then change this setting to CD, press apply, and then change to studio, hit apply, you'll see what I mean by how different it sounds. Now I can't really demo how it sounds to you because your hardware will differ, but just make sure you set this on the highest quality setting you can. Now when it comes to recording, and this is the thing that's going to affect your microphone, you can see here I have two microphones. I have one on my HD webcam and I have one on my headset, which is the one you're listening to me through now. Maybe, but we'll get to that in a sec. So for both these, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to click on the microphone that we want to use to record. We're going to go to properties. Now you can listen to this. So if I hit listen and apply, you'll start to hear some feedback come through. So you can hear in the background there's a little bit of feedback, not a lot, but just a little. You might have to turn your speakers up if you haven't got a good headset to hear that. I'm going to turn that off for the purposes of doing the video, but that's how you can listen to this and see how good your feedback is. Now first off, for any distortion, you want your microphone boost turned as low as possible. This is your microphone volume, and if I keep talking, you can see I mean, you want the volume as high as possible, but the boost down, because the boost will amplify any signal distortion, any noise in the background, and you don't want that. So enhancements, you might not have this tab, but it's worth looking for and see if there's any noise cancellation or stuff in here. You can enable them. On mine, what we're really looking for is this noise suppression. You may or may not have Voice Real XP tab. That may be an enhancement, but basically on all the tabs you're looking for noise suppression, and you enable it. If it's not enabled, and it's usually not enabled by default, then enable it. If you haven't, it's worth updating the drivers for your sound card or your motherboard to get better audio. And what that's going to do is a lot of the fizz you hear in the background, that's going to take a lot of that out. It won't take all of it out because it's quite mild, but it will take a lot of the fizz out. If I go to the advanced tab, and this is the one where you'll see the really big difference, is what you'll normally find is that your recording quality is usually set to CD quality. So if I press apply, actually I'm not going to apply that. You can, if you listen to it, you'll be able to test it yourself. But now a lot of the sort of £100 price range USB microphones, they only come up to this quality, and you see my motherboard is capable of going up to 2-channel 16-bit 192,000 Hz. It's capable of doing much higher quality than a lot of the USB mics that I could buy for like £100. Now the difference here is the USB mics have their sound card built into the USB. So there's two elements to the quality we have to worry about. One is the sound card, and one is the microphone quality. I'm using a really cheap microphone, but if you have this option here, this 16-bit, or you may even have 24-bit, 192,000 hertz. If you have that option, you can then go and get a microphone with a 3.5mm jack and connect that, and you're going to get a really good quality sound. So you can spend about 20 to 30 pounds on a microphone that goes into your 3.5mm, and you'll get a really good sound, and even possibly even a better one than the sort of £100 USB microphones. But you have to go in and set this up. So just going to hit cancel, so just make sure I've not applied any of those settings. Yep, excellent. Right, so now we're going to change over to our streaming software. And your streaming software is where the biggest noise cancellation is going to be. This is for OBS, but the same principle will apply to other streaming software too. So you can see at the moment, you can see this green bar. This green bar demonstrates how much sound is coming through my microphone. Now let's just quickly check which microphone we're using. So I'm going to go to audio. It's currently using Realtek HD audio, which is the microphone on my headset. And you'll see that even if I stop talking, the green bar is still quite high. That's because there's still quite a lot of noise on. There's quite a lot of noise still on the line, even though I've got audio suppression enabled in my sound drivers. There's still quite a lot of noise on the microphone and still. So what we can do is, in the streaming software, we can add a filter to remove that. So if I click on the configure filters, and we've got two options here. We've got noise suppression and noise gate. Now let me remove these as if they were, as if I got nothing on in the first place. So when you first open it, you're going to have this. So I'm going to go to add a filter, add noise suppression, and it'll start here at -30. So if I just, so we want to pull that fairly low down, you're going to have to just do a bit of trial and error, see how much of a difference it makes to you. And basically your goal is to just watch this green bar. If I go back into my filters, turn noise suppression off completely, you'll see, and if you've got a good headset, you can see there's a lot of noise. So we're going to turn noise suppression on with this little icon here. If it's got a cross through it, it's disabled. So we'll leave noise suppression on. Now after we put noise suppression on, we're going to put on what's called a noise gate. Now a noise gate will stop the microphone working when you're not talking. So, and the background noise, once you've put some of the mild filters in place, the noise gate is often enough that you can't really hear the distortion that much when you're talking. So I'm going to leave this on the default setting and just see what happens. So we see there straight away, the green bar just disappears when I'm not talking. And that is exactly what we want. That's what we want. We want it to disappear. The video is complete silence when I'm not talking. If I go back into it, now you might find that when you are talking, maybe it cuts out a little. So if I go back into filters, one is you want to take both these down a little. What these are is the open threshold, how much sound needs to be produced to start the microphone working, and the closed threshold is how much sound needs to drop below before it stops working. Now these timings you can just leave on default. They're a matter of how, if I go quiet, how long before it finally shuts off, and how long does it take to shut off after I have actually gone. Let's just turn this down a little bit. Go down to -48, -30. Let's go -42. Just to see the point, if I go quiet again, you should see that the green bar going back and forth just cuts off completely still. And that's it. we can now make videos where in the quiet moments we're perfectly silent. It keeps the noise down. Now, this isn't a complete replacement for really high-end, really good quality microphones. Now, but the microphone I'm using to record this is like a really cheap headset. It's like a 15 quid headset. It's really cheap. So you can see while it's not the best quality audio, once we change these settings, we put on the noise suppression on the motherboard. We put on noise suppression in our recording software. It does give us a much cleaner sound still, and you may still decide that it's worth spending the money on a better quality microphone, but when you can get 90% there just by changing settings, it is worth having a look at. Now, your motherboard might not have the HD audio that my motherboard has, so you might be stuck. You might not be able to do this. But it's worth going through all these settings I've just shown you. Look for these settings in your streaming software, whether it's OBS or something else, and hopefully that'll improve your audio. But at least you'll know whether you really do need to go and buy better audio equipment, or you can just change a couple of settings. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you found this useful. If you did, please give me a like, and see you all soon, guys. Bye-bye.